So this is a video. I've had some people ask a lot of questions about sous vide cooking. It's a form of cooking I use for my meal prep that I endorse, and a lot of people are wanting to kind of get an idea of, well, how do I do it, and why do I endorse it so much, and why do I like it, and why do I think the average person can benefit from it. So this video is going to be kind of a short video that discusses, okay, like simple use case on what I do for my meal prep. This is about close to 5.5 pounds of chicken breasts, and I'm going to cook it sous vide style to handle my basic macros for the week in terms for protein. So start off with some simple Q&A. What is a sous vide cooker? Here's the one that I own. It's called an Innova sous vide cooker. This guy's Bluetooth. Kind of a fancy edition. You don't really need it necessarily. It could be overkill, but I do kind of like it. And I'll explain what's happening right now. So sous vide is a form of cooking, water immersion cooking. The idea is that you put water at a very precise temperature, and in doing that you end up cooking food for a certain period of time in a sealed container of some sort that's in the water. So it ends up cooking whatever protein or thing you put in it through and through, and it's even, so you don't have to worry about undercooking. And from everything I've read and everything I've experimented with, overcooking is very hard to do. And some of the simple aha moments I had with this and why I like this so much. First off, you can do this with a regular pot. I chose this larger plastic container you can get from Amazon, and the reason why I chose this container is because this guy can do, I've done as much as 9, almost 10 pounds of chicken all at once with just in 1 hour. So when you're talking about food prep for a large amount of food, a week's worth for you or a week's worth for a family, it's important to consider, okay, how long is this going to take me? So the nice thing is, it doesn't take any longer to cook 9 pounds of chicken as it does to cook 2 or 3. And another big thing I really like about this is the cleanup is super easy. Since you have the food, the protein in a sealed plastic bags, or Ziploc bags if you want to go that route, there is no real cleanup that you have to do much on this. The water itself doesn't get messy or dirty, so at the end of my cooking, I end up just dumping the water and then unplugging my sous vide cooker and putting it away. So pretty much I got it warming up right now. So the things I want to kind of go over on why this stuff is so easy, or how I've kind of learned how to optimize this stuff. One of the big things I've learned is it's not as straightforward as you think when you're trying to evenly marinate whatever protein you're trying to do. And I've kind of learned what the best route to do it. I used to use a bag and put the protein in the bag, then try and sprinkle the seasoning I want on it, and the problem I ran into was not having it evenly on both sides. So what I advocate and what I've learned through trial and error, and I'll show, is you designate a plate that you're going to use, or a flat surface that you're okay with getting raw meat on, as your working surface that you can sprinkle spices on and evenly distribute the spice on both sides, of whatever protein you're dealing with, and then put it in a bag. So I'll demo that here in a couple minutes. But yeah, that's what I'm going to demo. Thank y'all. Okay, now I'm going to show you just some of the basic stuff that I normally do for my prep for the proteins that I cook. So since we're doing chicken, I'll show you. I have some steak and chop rub, and I have some spicy rub Cajun, and some Tony Chachere's spice seasoning. can really kind of use whatever spice you want. One of the big advantages of using a sous vide and having these individual bags that you can put your protein in is that you can make, in one batch, you can make 10 or more different flavors of whatever protein that you want. You're not limited by cooking a whole batch of something that's just one flavor. That's important to me because, you know, in a given week, I don't want to sit around and be eating the same exact thing, you know, 5 or 6 times. You know, the flavors are good, but anybody that's, you know, having to eat chicken every day knows, like, okay, it gets a little monotonous. So what I do is I take the meat after I've washed it and I pretty much, you know, get it as evenly doused or close to it as I can, and go ahead and place it in my Ziploc bag. Not, in this case, I'm using vacuum seal bags, and I'll go into that in a minute. But, you know, you gotta make sure that you kind of work on reapplying the spice to your plate so that you can get, these are kind of unusually large chicken breasts that I'm cooking today, so it's kind of an interesting task cooking these, or probably will be once I'm done. So my goal with this is to show you, like, okay, you can do whatever spices you want, and, you know, I usually try and keep one formula of spice per bag so that the bag's flavor is consistent. My personal favorite, I like adding a little olive oil in so when they're cooking inside the bag, they simmer in a little bit of olive oil, but right now, because of my macros, I'm not doing that, so for this demonstration. So, but yeah, that's the basics of how I turn around and flavor the meat that I'm trying to cook. Next step, I'll show you, I have here a vacuum sealer, and my personal choice is to use a vacuum sealer because it sucks all the air out. It makes, if you have any kind of liquid marinade, it makes it suck into the meat while it's cooking. And also, if you cook more meat than you plan on consuming in a week, you're already got your food in a bag that's sealed that you can actually turn around and toss in the freezer. So for demo's sake, I'm just going to vacuum seal this guy real quick and show you the basics of, like, alright, it sucks all the air out. Pretty much the meat just stays in place, and it gives you a good seal for when you're cooking, and no wasted space, no muss or fuss. So I'll do one more just so you can kind of see how incredibly easy this process is for sealing a bag with whatever protein you put in it. So vacuum seal. So with this being done, the next step in cooking, I'll show you right now, is pretty much all you do. The water is ready, it's at 150 degrees. You just put the bag straight into the water however you really want to. You know, there's no real right or wrong way, or one place will cook better than another, but you know, you put the bag in, and you set a timer either within the app, or, you know, you just keep track of time and set an alarm for an hour. Chicken takes an hour to cook at 150 degrees, so I won't make you sit here and watch this, but that is how you cook chicken sous vide, how I choose to cook chicken sous vide. Okay, so now that our food's done cooking for an hour, we'll show you kind of what the finished product tends to look like. So, you know, here is 3 chicken breasts, all nice and cooked. You can still see the bag's still sealed clean. No air has got in. The water's clear. So what I'm going to do right now is just do a quick demo of the biggest part of why I love sous vide cooking, and that is the meats you cook with it are tender, juicy, and cooked evenly throughout. So for this little demo, I'm just going to take out a piece of chicken. Let me prop this up so that that doesn't spill. So final part will be to cut open a piece of meat, show you how evenly throughout that it's cooked. This is very tender, very juicy. I mean, I can almost use a butter knife to cut this open with, and you can see exactly how good this looks. So this is classic sous vide cooking, very tender, very evenly cooked. To conclude my video, I'm just going to say, you know, I demoed chicken. If you want, I can demo doing some tuna or some salmon, or even a steak. The formula for steak's fairly easy, and it comes out beautiful. It's some of the best steak I've eaten. So, you know, that is all there is to the wonderful world of sous vide cooking for meal prep. You know, with these other bags that I have here, if I have more food than I can eat in a week, I can take the bag out, let it cool off, and then go throw it directly in the freezer because it's vacuum sealed, and it will lock in freshness, and the food tastes fine thawing it out. My personal preference, use a convection oven, don't use a microwave. That's, you know, it defeats the whole purpose and dries the meat out. So that's just a personal preference. You can do what you want, but you know, if you work that hard to make food that looks and tastes like this, then why do you want to make it all dry and kind of, you know, different tasting? So anyway, thank you for watching, and feel free to, you know, make comments or ask me any questions you may have or whatever, and I hope you got something from this. Thank you.